Okay, hello and welcome to this navigation lesson which I'm going to give to you very shortly. I intend to show you for your storyboard projects how can you create the first screen, which is your navigation screen, and how can you have the next and previous buttons on all of the frames of your storyboard. So it's a problem with many solutions. I mean, it's not a big problem, but it's just a statement. You can actually have many solutions. You can use texts, you can use uh, these buttons, you can use movie clips, you can use graphics, you can use layers. You can solve this in one layer, you can solve this in 3 or 4 or 5 layers, but I would like to go with the simplest solution, which I'm just going to display how to create the a simple navigation for your storyboard project. So let's just create an actions layer and another for buttons, and this is for my these buttons will reside on every frame for next and previous, and this will be my uh, storyboard frames. Okay, so let's just start by creating some simple first screen, which should be something looking like a welcome screen with some thumbnails like this maybe. So let's create 1, 2, and then I have 3, 4, 5. Okay, so assuming I have 5 frames, you can create this for your 10 or 15 frames, whatever your, however long your frames are in your story. So I'll do this navigation for the 5 frames only, so you can just take the concept and create your own navigation in the storyboard. So I've got this first screen. In my first scene it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames. These I will turn these into buttons representing each frame which is going to follow. So this is a way in which you use keyframes as your complete storyboard frame. So let me just create new keyframes. Because I have 5 buttons, I'll create 5 additional ones. So in total right now I will have 6 keyframes. First is my welcome screen, and the next ones will be my actual storyboard frame. So let's just delete this and keep this empty. I should have just deleted this before, but anyway, so this is my, there's supposed to be some material over here, my characters, their story going on. So let's just give it something over here. So this is my 1, this is 2, this is my 3, meaning this is representing the 3rd frame, this is representing the 4th frame, and this one represents the 5th frame. Okay, and notice there is no navigation, there is no button as of now. So what I need to do is I need to have a stop sign, a stop command whenever this project is played. So I see this first screen and it should stop over here. So right now there's no function, there's no navigation. What I need to do is, assuming these are my thumbnails which you will eventually create for your storyboard projects representing each frame, I need to click here and go to the first frame of my storyboard. Or if I click on 3, I should go directly into the 3rd storyboard frame. If I click on 5 or 4 or 2nd, it should go to the relevant storyboard project frame directly, and there should be a way in your these individual frames to navigate next and previous, or next and back, and go home also. So let's do this. I am now creating a buttons keyframe right now, and I would like to create, I'm doing this with simple text boxes. You can also do this with these buttons or graphic. let's say this is back, and I give this 44 points. It's okay. And next. Okay, so I have back and next buttons now. Just the labels ready, and they should be alive up till the end of this storyboard. So I add keyframes, so they should be visible across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. However, I also need to add actions over here. So I insert a keyframe in the actions layer, and I make sure it is alive until the end of the buttons or until the end of the presentation. And I click here, go to code snippets, and in my timeline navigation I open this, click and go to the previous frame. Okay, and stop. So I needed to go to the previous frame and stop. For the next button I need to go to the next frame and stop. So I double click this. Okay, now remember one thing, I need to give names for all of these buttons, so which I haven't done up till now. Let's give it a name. This is back BTN, representing button, and this is next BTN, which also means button. So now let's go back to the code snippets window, code snippets. Make sure you have clicked over here first, and then only you go to the code snippets and open your timeline and navigation and click on this, so it will automatically add the code in the action script for you. Okay, however, not yet. Make sure you have clicked okay, on this layer, because you would want to add the code in the actions layer, not on buttons layer or storyboard frames layer, because it's okay if you add over here or here also, but it looks cleaner if you have a separate layer for actions only. So click here on that layer you want to add the code, and then on the object where you would actually like to see the action being added on, the back action, and window, code snippets, click and go to the previous frame. Okay, when you double click it, it will automatically generate the code and add this onto your keyframe. Okay, so one way to reach this place directly is window, actions, or you press F9. Then this code window will open. So what this button does, it just goes to the previous frame, and that's all. Okay, let's see where is it. It's added over here. So this next button also needs to do something. Make sure you click over here, then next, window, code snippets. It also needs to go to the next frame and stop. Just click here and it will also add this code of next frame. And now you will notice it should be there. All these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, along all these frames, back and next buttons will be alive, and you can click back and next. There's one more button that we need to be here, which is home. Okay, so let's place it somewhere over here. Let's say make it. You can use an actual button symbol or this text field also. You can add actions to both of these. Home, and let me just change the font size so that it's not the next and back, and just change the color also to make sure it's a little bit different than the back and next buttons. So I have this home button with me. Currently it's not doing anything. I need it to go to frame 1 and stop. Click here. What you would do, window, code snippets, click go to a frame and stop. Which frame? You need to remember, you need to give a name also. So click here, go to properties, home, BTN, so you can remember it in the code. Let's go to code snippets again, go to frame and stop. Which frame? Write the number into go to and stop method. Now you click this, Remember, we have not done anything here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One second. Okay, now let's give these thumbnails separate names so that we can also reference them in the code. This is, let's say, nav1 means navigation 1, navigation button 1. This is nav2. Allah, okay. Nav3, nav4, nav5. Okay, so I've got these five text fields representing first, second, third, fourth, and fifth keyframes which I've got over here. So this button I want to represent this keyframe. Okay, and this button I want to represent this keyframe, and so on. So what I'm going to do now is to add the same code over here. Go to and stop. Code snippets. Go to frame and stop. So number 1 should go to the second frame. So number 2 should go to the third frame, because number 2, this is displayed over here. So remember, because first keyframe is our welcome page or welcome frame. So go to code snippets, or from here go to frame and stop. Which frame do we need to go to from here? We need to go to number 2. Yes, see, go. So it's now there. I can go back, I can go home, and I can also go next. Okay, so but if I click over here 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't work because I have not defined that yet. How do I do that? Click 2, code snippets, go to frame and stop. Which frame? Now you tell me. Should be 3. Okay, and this one, code snippets, go to frame and stop, should be 4th frame. And this one, go to frame and stop. Now notice it's all automatically generating the code for me, which is quite helpful. Go number 5, go to frame and stop, should be number 6. So now if you run your movie clip, your Flash project, it's now all set. Go to number 3, and notice I can go to number 4 from here if I click next, and home also. So let's see why this is not working. It should work anyway. Let's see. Okay, 1, this is working. 2, home. Okay, let's see why this does not work. Back and next should be working also. Alright, let's see what's the problem here. Okay, so notice what is happening is I can go to my first frame, I can click home and go back to the main title page, and then next, back, next, back. So my navigation is more or less working, except there is one slight problem. That when I click home and I click on, let's say, 3, and when I click next and back, these buttons don't work. The reason is that the action script code is written over here, and when you jump directly over here or here, this is not executed at all. But if you pass by from here and then you go to next, then it does work. But from here, if you directly jump over here, then you bypass this action script code, which is actually back, next, and home source code. So from here, if you go through this and this and this and this, it's okay. But from here, if you directly jump over here, then or here, then there's a problem. So for this we are going to do a slight change. We are just removing this and extending this, so this is being displayed at the beginning also, and that's okay. And you just copy these actions, actually cut them and paste them over here at the end. And yes, and make sure this is also the same action script frame coming from the start. So now let's test this. So I have my 5 or 10 or 15 whatever frames. I can go home. I am right now at home. I can go next and back. I can keep doing that, but I can also jump directly to 3, and from here I can do this navigation, which should now work fine. So let's do this 3, next, back, home, jump directly to 5, next, there is no next, but there is back, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then home. Now I am directly at 2, next, back, or home. This is my navigation. So I hope this has been of some help to you guys, and I will make sure I will also send this saved flash FLA file to you guys if you need to refer to the code again. Thank you.